Gather round, adventurers bold in the realm where tales unfold. The podcast of heroes, a quest divine, where imagination takes flight. Let's combine. Roll the dice, let the story begin. Monsters and magic, the battles within. From dragons to dungeons, a thrilling ride. Action Surge podcast where legends collide. Action Surge, it's time to embark on a podcast journey where dungeons spark. Venture forth with the warriors true in the world of D&D. We welcome you. Action Surge, it's time to embark on a podcast journey where dungeons spark. Venture forth with the warriors true in the world of D&D. We welcome you.
Here we go. And we're live.
All right.
Yay!
Posted us to Facebook.
I posted to Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. Oh, there's one more Twitter. Twitter, X. Why don't they change the name to X?
Because Elon Musk is an asshole.
Yeah, it's because they wanted me to bring up my porn history every time I go to Twitter, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't watch porn on Easter. This is why people can't take me anywhere.
What I love about that that moment is that you go, I don't watch porn, and then add at Easter. Originally normal thing had just gotten a little strange.
Oh gosh. Every day and twice on Sundays. I do it religiously. Alright, so
It looks like me and Deontay
I'm
are
having computer
in each other's
issues.
spots.
There we go. Oh, are you? Okay. Yes, you are. I swapped you. Hold on. Let me fix
Hey
that.
gang, I'm Taylor. What's happening? I play Call,
Today-
Super Wicked. Check it out.
Today, the part of Taylor will be played by Deontay, and the part of Deontay will be played by Taylor.
You can tell I didn't study the character at all. What's up, dog? It's me, the Tay Tay.
Taylor's like cringing. He's like, I'm going to kill him.
He's just thinking, how do I get my revenge? How do I get my revenge? How do I portray Deontay in a way that would be terrible?
Everything's an improvement, right? It's me, Folodar, and guess what I'm doing today? You guessed it, dying.
I almost feel bad about that.
It's not all.
Alright, hello, well-met adventurers. Welcome to the realm of imagination and dice rolls. Action Surge, where epic tales unfold, dragons breathe fire, and heroes rise against the darkness. Join us as we embark upon a journey through the fantastical world of Dungeons and Dragons. So grab your dice, sharpen your wits, and prepare to immerse yourself in a story where anything is possible. We'll tell tales of valor, weave stories that will echo through the ages, and talk a lot of rubbish, because the action starts now. I like the word rubbish.
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 Not a bad word.
It's like an old English word, kind of almost, but you know, like nobody uses it in America.
It has that connotation, yeah.
Because we
I do believe we talk a lot of rubbish in here.
You know, we've gone straight with trash.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And our generations ahead of us will find an even smaller word to use.
We are.
We use more word when few word do trick.
We are not.
Exactly.
We are not as plebeian as all trash talk. We are.
I can't wait
talk.
until Gen Alpha just starts coining terms like Gargo and Shui. And say things like Nova.
All right,
They're gonna be like,
so
this is so Nova. I'm gonna be like, what is that? What?
when you guys get back to the thing after the trolls, you guys have talked to Carmen Aaron a little bit. I don't remember 100% if. Oh wait, did it not play sound? It's not playing sound.
I really don't remember if anything happened when we got back besides leveling up.
Yeah, so I know there was a little bit of like talk amongst you and Carmen Aaron, but yeah, other than that, I think you guys just leveled up. Anybody do anything that they remember in their level up that's worth noting?
I am now the Warlord of the Blade.
Warlord of
The
the
Hex
Blade.
Blade, that is.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You
you
took
went
a level in
Warlock.
Warlock. That's right. Yeah, that's
That's right.
interesting.
I would like to
Interesting,
become a Hex
interesting.
Blade Shadow Monk.
I'm
I'm gonna go with
I'm going
medical.
forward.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. Okay. So, when you get back, you guys do your rest and whatever, and Carmen Aaron meets you with a couple like other gnomes from the city that bring food to your like domicile that they got you, or, you know, hold up in. They basically had like not rented, but given you a you know, like a place that you can stay and put your stuff and keep your stuff and use it as a sort of a base of relaxing, resting, you know, a staging point, whatever, you know, like that. And they basically said, you know, if you want to, you know, go around the main tunnels, you're welcome to do that while you're here, but, you know, stick to the main tunnels, you know, like, because, you know, the gnomes are very secretive and they're just starting to get to, you know, warm up to you guys. You know, they're not very fond of outsiders and they're very skittish.
But we're heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they find out that you've done this for the trolls, the next morning they come around with she comes to your domicile with breakfasts like a plenty, like just a great big meal, and says if you complete your next task, they said we will have a meal and a feast in your honor. And she says, but she says you are free to go and try to pursue what it is you came here for. You've proven your worth. You've proven your mettle. She says, but before you go, have a hearty breakfast, and we will show you, or I will show you something that needs to be attended by you.
Now hold on just a moment. What is this about a secondary task?
And she says, well, on your way, she says, the glass city is, the city of the glass pool is very far away. And on your way, you will no doubt encounter several of the perils of the Underdark, which I've shown you. But you will also very likely encounter a couple that we know about that are, how should we say, more problematic, more of a danger.
Then the trolls?
Yes, and at the same time, possibly not.
You know, I've seen better elaborations from babbling children.
She says, well, the Underdark is an enormous and complex place, and I couldn't possibly, I could tell you about all of the dangers, but it would take a long time.
But you can tell us about all of the dangers. Please.
Elaborate.
Oh, what's that?
She says, well, first I have something for your friend here. I have been noticing some things, and this little one seems to radiate a power that is beyond what we've seen in quite some time. Us and the Rockseers. And she's clearly like pointing and kind of motioning toward Ka.
Yes, he has quite a vibe about him.
She says, I believe he has on him some items that would be useful, possibly, in the future.
I mean, we all have useful items, but yes, Kai especially, he was very useful in that troll situation.
May have even saved our bacon.
She says, would you, Ka, Bluey, be willing to undergo a ritual?
That's how they get you hooked.
Taylor, you're muted.
Voice free.
Oh, is he muted? Yeah, yep, you're muted.
A ritual? Like, what kind of ritual?
She says, a ritual of choosing.
Oh.
She says, I see that platinum medallion you wear on your neck. And she says, I don't believe that I've seen one of those down here. Probably ever. And you know I'm pretty old.
Pretty old.
I mean, there's a big difference from down here versus up there.
He says, that is true, which makes it all that much more significant to me.
I see that.
He says, if the Platinum Dragon has business down here, then you are of great importance indeed. And just the idea that you're even here might indicate that you're one of his chosen.
You really think so?
She says, honestly, I can't see any other way about it.
Oh, my friend. Did you hear that? You're chosen. Well, we quite literally already have that experience, didn't we?
I mean, we kind of did meet him, so it's...
She says, excuse
Kind of
me?
hard to argue against it.
Excuse me, what do you mean? You met him?
We met on the spiritual level, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Sure.
I really don't want to go revealing that we literally interacted with God. He's given us a chosen purpose.
I mean, we met and interacted with quite a few at this point, so...
Anyway,
At least
here we are,
two.
ritual.
At least two. She says,
I thought it was 3, but...
oh, was it? It could have been 3, yeah. I know of 2. Oh, Salune, yeah. Yeah, Salune didn't quite reveal herself, but yeah, she was there. That was Fallon.
close-ish.
Yeah,
We were Cyric and
Cyric and Bahamut.
Baphomet.
Bahamut, yeah. No, Baphomet's the Middlesbrough guy.
Did I say Baphomet? My bad.
Yeah.
Bahamut.
Yeah. So she says, in so doing, I will also teach you a couple of the spells you picked up to where you can use them as your own.
That
there
is
a catch?
most generous. I accept.
What did you say? Is there a catch?
Yeah.
She says, oh, my dear, I'm afraid with the gods, there's almost always a catch.
But,
Don't we
you
know it?
She says, but it is
You
a
won't
burden.
know until it's done it, right?
She says, yeah, she says that is correct, and it is a burden as devotees of of our duties is that we must bear.
Alright.
Faith is all about.
Good old gods, always asking, only giving you minimum. They're like very bad part-time jobs.
I mean, as long as you're not her, I guess it doesn't really matter to me.
Carl, are you certain you want to go through with this?
She says, well, I can guarantee that he will come out relatively unscathed, and if he is indeed hurt in any way, I am a powerful healer, and I will make sure that he is well once all is said and done. She says, and if he is killed,
What?
if he is killed for some reason, not that I believe he will be, but if he is, I believe I can bring him back.
I'm sorry, did you highlight the possibility of death just now?
She says, death is always a possibility, is it not?
Semantics, you're talking to a scholar. You just highlighted the very, very real possibility of death.
It's not so much a possibility as a
Guarantee.
eventuality.
Fine. Argue philosophy with the students.
Familiar with death anyway, so I mean,
Oh, ask again. Are you certain you want to do this?
And when you say that, when you say, "Are you certain you want to do this?" and she looks at you and she raises an eyebrow and she says, "Ah, I see why you're concerned about death."
Dun dun dun.
I implore you. Choose the next words very carefully,
She
as
says,
I do have a bit of a sore spot with that particular connotation.
She says, "Yes, I can see that," and she says, I think that I can do nothing for you."
Ah, great. Factual information that was already known.
She
I'll
says,
say
"You
this, but I
you
don't
seem to have
want to give your culture.
She says, "You seem to have a sort of curse upon you, and it looks as if one as powerful as I cannot remove it."
That sultry god cursed me.
Well-
A god cursed you?
Sorry. I mean in spirit.
Oh,
In all fair reality, it's you didn't have to. You could have died.
Alternatives are
she
considered.
she says by forgive me for saying so, but by my metrics, he did.
Factually, I suppose that is correct.
I mean, he has died a few times.
Oh no. My undead. Oh no.
She says,
Jessa, control me. I just like take a
Isn't that
couple
you?
steps back. I'm already distant enough from them. I'm just gonna. There we go.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to be controlled by me. Could be controlled by some random person.
she says, "Right now, the ritual of choosing."
You heard her call Lily. Choose if you want to choose.
I
Damn. Not only do you gotta choose, but you gotta choose to choose. And if you choose not to decide, you have still made a choice.
even if you say death is a possibility or an eventuality or whatever, I know as a kobold we are not very long lived, and if I can do any little thing that has an impact on this world during my short time here, I think I've lived a worthwhile life. So let us choose.
She says, very well then. And she takes you to the temple, you know, where you guys have been a couple times, you know. And she takes you inside, and you go in there, and she stands you in the center of like a big ring on the floor, kind of almost like what looks like a thaumaturgic circle, which is like a big magic circle with runes all around the edge. And she says a few words chanting, and then you see three more gnome priests come in, and they begin chanting as well. And they're all like, you know, all around you in like kind of a, you know, circle formation at 4 points basically. And suddenly you see a bright white light, and you're basically like, you know, it's almost blinding, especially to you since you have that sunlight sensitivity. It just like takes you out for a moment, and then all of a sudden, you know, everything starts to dim down, and there in the darkness you don't see the priests anymore, but you see a a withered old man with a cane, and kind of starts walking up to you, and you recognize him as the old man you saw out in the field, and he says, so you come to me. And he next thing you know, he transforms, and he's this guy in platinum armor with this big beard, and he is just this hulking, massive, imposing form of a man, and he just looks like he could just about take down anything with a sword. And he's wearing a bright blue cape with a emblazoned seal of Bahamut on the back, and the seal of Bahamut on his chest piece armor. And he says, welcome, Ka. I am glad you have chose. He says, what are you doing here?
I'm hoping to do good in this world.
He says, you have done good. You have created good things. You have created good cheer. You've given your teammates a friend and a good soul and a good heart and a good companion by which to confide in and keep their spirits up. What more good is there than that?
I know that in and of itself is good, but I see the evil that permeates this world, and I feel like the good I've done isn't enough.
He says, well, sadly, little one, it never is. He says, but all we can do is keep our chins up, our heads held high, and try to do the best we can. He says, I like your answer, Kabuli. He says, and I like that even though you are the smallest of your crew, you are also the largest. And he says, and I would be a fool of a god to not choose you. And so thereby, Kabuli,
Start groveling.
thereby,
You just made the connection.
He says, thereby, Kalbui, I, Bahamut, choose you as one of my own.
And he throws a Pokeball at him. No.
I choose you. Yeah, he says, choose you as one of my own. You have been a devotee of mine for some time, and I can think of none more deserving. And then he
It's
says,
the greatest honor.
he says, he does a turn, like a little spin, and he turns into a young man without the beard and like really slender and blonde hair, and he is wearing what looks like a monk's outfit with beads and a quarterstaff, and he says, keep an eye on your friends. He says, they will need you. Especially this one. And he walks off and he disappears. Like in like a puff of smoke. And it suddenly all goes dark again. And when your eyes adjust, you see the four priests around you just standing still, like like looking at you as if they're in anticipation of something.
That was incredible. Ah.
So
He
what?
seems a changed man.
What has happened? And then
I saw him.
and I trust it went well.
Said I was chosen.
She says, you see Carmen light up in her eyes, and she just smiles, and she's, I knew you would, my boy. And you can see like a little tear in her eye, and she says, was I right? Was I right? And she's like talking to the, like the other priests, and they're like, oh yeah, you were right, And she's like, I always knew it. She's like, I can always spot them. And she says, well, come. I must urge you on to your next task. And I promised you something. And then she says, girls, help me here. And the three other priestesses come around, and they do like a little chanting again. She says, can you give me that scroll in your pocket? And it's
No,
the,
scroll
it's
in
the
You're just happy to see me.
yeah, you have a scroll in a scroll case or something, but it is a scroll with a spell on it,
Yes. Prayer, I believe it is.
and the spell is prayer, and the other spell is Wyvern Watch. It's actually a couple scrolls. It's two different scrolls. One of the spells is Wyvern Watch, and so this spell is one you learn. And I don't remember if the other one is prayer or not, but I'll have to scroll back and find out.
The other one was prayer.
Prayer, okay. Yeah.
I understand, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And these spells will always be prepared.
Yep, these are all. Yep, these will be added to your new cleric spells.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's a second level spell and a third level spell. Now I don't know if you can cast it. You can cast third level spells, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have third level spell slots.
Yeah,
but I don't have third level spells the way
Yeah.
I'm multi-classed.
Yep. But so you will have when you can cast third level spells, you'll be able to cast that as an always prepared spell, like a and also give yourself. Hang on, let me look at you real quick because I got to double check. Where is God? There he is. And then she says, of course, she says, and she says, and after they teach you that and stuff, she says, now let's go get your friends because you have urgent business. She says, you may want to stay here and study for a day, but it's up to you. So, with that being said, out of game, I can have Caw dragged along while you're, because I know you have to go do Easter things real quick here, and I can have Caw, like they can take them along with you and have somebody run them or you can stay behind in Lungard, studying, or looking, or buying, or whatever it is. You know.
I think it would make sense for me to stay behind and study.
Okay.
It wouldn't.
It's
It's not like I learned these spells like
Oh, sorry.
that.
In quiet meditation or whatever. But hang on, let me look at your course sheet real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Give yourself 5 piety.
Whoa. Five additional piety?
5 additional piety. So you should be at 10 now.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2.
Well, if you were chosen of whoever it was. Yeah, boo. Oh, no.
He gets all the chosenness.
All right.
I'm not jealous. I got alien.
Good at everything. His God loves him. Jeez.
Okay. So when Carmen comes back out, she explains to the friends and you guys what has happened, and you can tell them in your own words. But she says after your friend explains to you what has transpired here, she says, I have one more thing to show you before you're on your way. Now you may come back here to Glengard anytime you would like and use this as your staging point, or a place to just gain brief respite. And she says, and there is something more beyond this that once I can get the Rockseer elves in on joining forces with this idea, you will be able to travel between here and the Rockseer village. She says, but for now, I'm going to show you one more thing after this, and then you guys are kind of on your own.
Sounds like a recurring theme for us.
So does Carl want to explain in his own words what had happened?
Yeah, okay. So, that old man we met in the forest with the golden retrievers. You know who that was?
Yeah.
It was Sam. Yeah, it was your God. Yeah.
You all knew?
Yeah.
Very well aware. Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh. Well, I should-
Everyone knew about him.
That's true humility there.
I mean, that makes sense.
he chose me. He chose me to be an agent of his in
Grass.
a way.
You may have to elaborate a little further. Were you not already an agent in this?
Well, yes. In the sense that I chose him. I chose to follow him, but in this now he's chosen me.
Yes, the basis for a great relationship. I'm glad to see that you've chosen each other, but if I may, push the envelope a little bit. What does being a chosen mean?
It means I have a greater responsibility to carry out his will.
Oh.
And he said I need to keep an eye on you guys to protect you.
So you got a great promotion. Nice.
Ah, yes, the true tale of a worker being paid more to do the exact same job. Congrats is in order, as you've been watching out after us all along.
With that said, should you decide to venture out, it'll be without me for at least a day.
And then he immediately contradicts his statement. Do not worry, Carl. We know that you have a grand journey to embark on.
with that being said, Ka, you will also gain, as a chosen of Bahamut, you will gain a cantrip and a first level spell of your chosen class. Like probably your cleric or divine soul sorcerer or whatever. That probably makes the most sense.
Yeah,
but
I think it would be tied to my cleric.
but anything is is up for grabs. He's not
First level spell and a cantrip.
Yep, first level spell and a cantrip. Yep. Hold on one second. Just want to make sure something about that first level spell. That yes, the spell can be cast without using a spell slot, but only once per long rest.
Oh, but if I already used that, I can still use a spell slot to cast it.
Correct. Yeah. It can only be used once as a, as a freebie, basically.
Gotcha.
There's also, and actually that is actually something called divine power. And you already have access to divine magic, so that's neither here nor there. But it's there. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think there's a couple other things, but I have to look them up. So, one second. Okay. You also get one more use of channel divinity per day.
Oh, sick.
So when you go up to your next level of channel divinity, you gain extra use. This is still also on top of that. So when you go up to the next level where you gain extra uses, you just basically always get an extra channel divinity. And then also, I don't know if you changed, if when you adjust your thing, if I put the stuff for Bahamut in there. I think I did.
Where are you putting it?
Down by your piety.
I
So
see the 10 plus piety.
Yep, there you go. So you have different abilities based on that, depending? Yeah, 10 plus piety.
Votary.
Yep,
Votary.
votary, yep. You can just cast Disguise Self with this trait, requiring no material components. Once you cast a spell this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest.
He's one of us now.
And the wisdom, it says wisdom is your spellcasting ability for this spell, but it'll actually be whatever one's your normal one. Charisma, probably, right?
He's charisma, wisdom.
Oh, you are
Yeah,
charisma.
charisma
Okay.
for my sorcerer and wisdom for my
Cleric.
cleric spells.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so either one's good then. Wisdom makes the most
Since
sense,
it's
but
tied to my piety, I'll probably keep it wisdom.
yeah. I was gonna say wisdom kind of makes the most sense, but if the charisma is higher, you might want to go with that. But yeah. So after that, Carmen Aaron says, "All right, this is what you must see," and she takes you back out through the perils a little ways. You guys, with her helping you avoid them, you guys avoid them pretty easily, but you know that it's not that easy, and that going out is just dangerous. But she takes you all the way back to a section. Oh, I can move it. No, it's not letting me. Try again. There we go. It takes you all the way back to here. Did I have this highlighted or daylight? Can you guys see this, right?
I can see the map.
Okay.
Barely.
Yeah, it's really dark. So she takes you all the way back to, if you zoom out, you can see there's a point way back here She takes you all the way to this point.
That's a day's travel.
Yeah. She takes you all the way back to that point. And of course, Carl stays back, but takes you all the way back to this point. And she says, "Here, look. You will need this." And she points at the wall, and you see a stone wall. And everybody will make a wisdom or intelligence saving throw.
Oh, there's always
And it'll be-
stone wall.
And it'll be DC 17.
I failed.
Saving throw?
Wisdom or intelligence?
Yep.
Think. God, I'm not blessed anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, just making sure. Well, would you look at that?
All right. And then Taylor, I didn't know you have to get out of here pretty soon. Yes? No? Okay. So I didn't know if you wanted to get ready to take off, but I will go to a be right back screen.
I like it.
And then we can say bye to Taylor. Happy Easter, guys. Happy Easter to everybody watching and all you future people and
Yeah.
and any other holidays you celebrate today.
Yeah. That other one.
And I always feel like I messed some part of it up.
And dedicated to the belief that all
It's a
men are created
proposition.
equal. Something like that. Yeah.
Is it belief or proposition?
Proposition, yeah. I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's been a while.
Yeah.
I still remember the whole Midnight Ride of Paul Revere poem. But that was a poem, so it's different. And it's shorter. Much shorter. Much shorter. Anyway, so we're back to live. I think everybody's in the right camera positions. Yes, it looks like it. And I've got a green tail on mine. Hold on. Whenever I talk. There we go.
I'm
I
not
think I got
sure
rid of it.
why we
All right. So she has you stare at the stone wall. You all stare at the wall for a while, and only Januka sees it. You notice that this surface looks like solid stone, but there's a subtle difference from the surroundings. And Januka walks up and she touches it. And Januka, you feel it's like a jelly-like, like a gel-like substance. It's very kind of thick and gelatinous, and it gives you, it gives, slightly against your touch. But you
Is
can't,
this the secret door?
you can't seem to bring, even though you know this wall, this is some sort of an illusion, right?
Hmm?
But you can't seem to move past it. You're like, I know this is an illusion, but I can touch it.
And we
I can
just-
feel it.
We
And,
just
and
see her doing this.
yeah. And I don't know if you're going to say anything.
Well, I will take and turn back to our host and go, so what's the trick to get through this?
You're gonna have to give us some context as to what you're speaking about.
I go, oh, there's an illusion here.
Of course.
You guys can't do it?
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Just making sure your mental acuity is up to speed.
You are so full of shit.
But it's unprovable.
Just let me cut you up and I'll prove it.
I'm afraid that is not an option.
She said, okay,
We'll
so
see.
at the very least, this illusion like this, and that kind of thing is at the very least unsettling to you, Januka. And Carmen Aaron says, this is where the Illithids come.
I'm sorry.
The Illithids, they're mind flayers. You're down here for them. This is where they come to. There is some.
Sure, come from.
She says, it is very hard to say, and I'm sure you can understand none of us want to be anywhere near or around Illithids for long at all, and so our information is somewhat limited.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
I just kind of go up to the wall.
She says here on your. She says, do you have your map that I gave you? And,
Yes.
And it's basically the map of this, the Underdark map, the crude Underdark map, wherever that's at.
I will lean in and look at the map.
Map
Yeah,
one.
full door. I would have it.
Something
Probably
interesting.
full door.
You lean in and look at the wall. Did you get a? Oh, you did. Yeah, it was 12. Okay. To you, Joe,
Yeah.
it appears and looks as if it's solid stone, and if you touch it, it feels it's solid stone.
The map?
The map. I thought you were talking about the
I'm the
wall.
one
Yeah.
that approached.
I thought you said lean in and look at it. Okay. I thought you were talking about the wall.
No, the map.
Okay.
You said that you asked about the map. She said, yeah, it's right here. I said, I'm going to lean in and take a look at the map.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I want to know where we're at. I have no idea where we're at this point. So.
Okay, she points.
right, yeah, you did kinda just drop
She
me in.
points on the map at the location marked, X1, like it is on the screen here. she points to the map and she says, "There is where you're at." And she says, "And you can see here the long dark passage by which you will head to take to the city of the glass pool." And she says, "Earlier, a party of adventurers took this route and perished. I do not know how far they got. I didn't deal. We also didn't deal directly with them." She says,
So, you know how to get through this.
"Well, I can possibly make a way for you to get through there." She says, "But you know here," and she points to a different spot on the map, and it's this other southern route, going over
Oh.
near there, right
Okay.
here, right? She says down here, like down that area. She points down to the ping, the ping on the map down here, and she says, "This is an extremely perilous southernmost route to the lair of the great reptiles. Now, we know that some kind of evil dragon or dragon-like creature lairs there, but not
Right.
what it is."
Probably want to avoid dragon-like creatures for some foreseeable time.
With no information about it, I don't know if I'm comfortable with us going after it.
See, now, if I had my druthers, what my recommendation is I will get you past this wall, and my recommendation is that you travel straight down this path to the city of the glass pool, and I will send a call with aid to catch up to you when I can, or get him to you somehow. The Rockseer elves have strange magics that they can help me with.
So, I want to do a quick history check. Do I know why it's called the City of the Glass Pool?
Go ahead, do the history check.
Can I do that too?
Sure. Yep.
8. Wow. Our rolls are just going to be awful today, I say.
Well, let's see.
Proficient, and yet still.
Not my greatest.
Okay, so what you think? What Tessa or Jessa, I mean, what Jessa thinks is that it has to do with the Kuatoa there. And you guys know about the Kuatoa. You were told a little bit about that. You guys don't know like a lot about them, but you know what they're like, and you know that they're down there in that city of the glass pool.
Yeah, I've definitely read
Oh,
about
yes.
it.
And Jessa, you know that it is a Kuatoa city in the Underdark, and it's right under one of the Great Sword Mountains. It is also, from what you've heard, the center of a mind flayer colony. The uppermost parts of the city consist of a ruined Kuatoa settlement called Dumudpool.
Dumudpool?
Dumudpool, yep. I'll put in there. Dumudpool.
Alright, so let me get this straight.
Is that where they make the mood rings?
Yeah, that's where I make the Dumud rings, yes.
So
Come
hold
on,
on.
ring.
Where you're sending us is to a ruined fish people village where there's now mind flayers.
Well, there's actually a city of Kuatoa there also. The ruins are above, and you'll probably travel through them to get to the city. But yes, ultimately you are here to deal with the mind flayers, are you not?
Well,
Yeah,
so
I wanted to verify
attack us
that.
on site, but so I'm not really looking forward to going in strong arming our way into their fortress right away.
She
Huh?
says,
Yeah.
well, it is many days travel, and getting to the city is a problem and an excursion unto itself. She says, what I recommend is going down there, finding what you can find, doing what you can do, come back every once in a while, and resupply, and make another attempt. Each attempt go further. She says, I don't think you will be able to do it all in one go, but you are a hardy bunch. You are a hardy bunch. She says you are a hardy.
Is learning how to come back, right?
She says he's learning some things, but the coming back thing will be possibly an option once we talk to the Rockseers. Carl and myself will go talk to the Rockseers.
I can't believe I'm saying this, as it goes against the foundation of the exact person I am, but it's worth a try to go and investigate the city of Glasspool.
Sounds to me like we gotta plot a route to the city before we can investigate the city.
All a part of the same goal, my friend.
And she also says to you guys, she says, now, because you were successful with the trolls, the shall we call it a mishap at the burial grounds will be overlooked. Please do not let it happen again.
Mishap?
Please do not let it happen again.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
just
I'm sorry. A mishap. You mean the natural involvement of an animal that's indigenous to your land is a mishap in your eyes?
What? No, I'm talking about the burial grounds that you broke in and desecrated. Our burial grounds.
We do. That's a very common thing. Sorry. Apologies.
please, we're just checking things out.
Well, let's please let it become a rare thing.
We didn't take anything, so it's fine.
Absolutely no promises, but we will try.
And she says there are several things that you will run into on the way, I'm sure. She says, if you were to take the way toward the caverns of the great reptiles, and she points over down toward the other southern exit that doesn't have the illusionary wall in front of it. She says, I was thinking if there was a dragon down there, not that you would be able to easily fight it, but if there was a dragon down there, that it might have something to help you with the rest of your journey.
Negotiating with a dragon would be a high point in my career.
She says, unfortunately, of course, the travel down there is nearly as far as, about half as in the length of the distance it would be to go to the city of the Glasspool itself, but much less fraught with peril if you don't include the dragons, or giant reptiles, or whatever they may be.
Well, let's take a little day or two journey and come back.
She says, I also know that beyond the dragons, in that area, is the village of the Rockseeker Elves, or the Rockseer Elves. And so, if you happen to get past the great reptiles somehow, you may find the Rockseer village. They're even more cautious of outsiders than me and us deep gnomes. However, you do know one of them. And I forget his name, of course, but but you guys met the one Rockseer, Ferraris. You do know. She said you do know Ferraris, and
yes,
and he will speak highly of you.
So.
And he knows what you've done with the trolls.
The reptiles are dragon-like, but they're not dragon.
No,
Can
it could be a dragon, or it could be a dragon-like, or it could be multiples of them.
By God, woman, do you speak in anything other than riddles?
She says we only know that there are either dragon or dragon-like creatures that live there. That's about all we know.
Can I roll something to try and figure out what possibly they are? Because I've been rolling pretty good on
If you
Underdark knowledge.
if you guys are willing to stay another day, are you guys willing to stay another night before you head out
Absolutely.
and prep?
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
it is.
If you guys are
Which
willing to
saves
stay,
money even possible.
yeah, if you guys are willing to stay another, you guys can go back to Glimgard, and rest to take a long rest, and then you guys will on the next morning before you head out, she brings Ferraris into the village. And Ferraris comes to you, and he describes what he sees to Jessa, and tells her all about the area. And you may make a nature or survival check, whichever is better, and that will let you know what is there.
I'm making this.
And anybody that has nature or survival can make these checks by his descriptions.
I mean, my survival's decent. Let's go! It's decent enough! I have been spending this entire campaign barely surviving, and it finally pays off.
Do you want to make one? Deontay, you got Cutler's token? Do you want to make one for Cutler?
Give me a sec.
I think Cutler's going to just stay back with Kaw for now. Just make sure he gets where he gets to safely and soundly.
I feel like
Yeah.
Cutler, it would be like, I've left you alone enough.
And before you head out, you guys are going to get a sending stone.
Okay, his advantage is on, but let's go, Cutler!
And you got,
Sending Stone, who has the other half? They do?
yeah, they have the other half. Cutler and Kaw have the other half. So you get a sending stone. So basically, you guys can communicate with each other while you're out.
So,
And they give
Sending
you
Stone-
Carmen Aaron gives you a gem. You know that gnomes and like gnomes especially are known for mining gems, but she gives you each a ruby. Well, she gives you not each ruby. She gives you 2 rubies. Your group, and one is marked with a gnomish. Well, they're both marked with gnomish runes. Do any of you speak gnomish or read it?
I do.
Okay.
I believe I do as well. Let me just double check.
And I was gonna say you might have a
I
thing
thought
where you know all
I
languages.
speak
or
Dwarvish. That's what it was.
Dwarvish. Okay, you do know gnomish though, Jessa? Okay. One of the runes is a rune that's the rune for Cutler, and one of them is a rune for Kaw. And she says to you, keep good hold of these, and only use them when you need them. And she says, once they're used, they'll be done. And she says, and you two, and she looks at Cutler, and she says, keep good hold of your weapon. And she says to Kaw, and you, keep good hold of your heart. And she points to his amulet.
Cutler definitely would say, you don't need to worry about my weapon.
Oh, Rune
It's in
of
good hands.
Cutler and Rune of Claw.
Yep, and they're 2 little ruby type gems that they look kind of like rubies.
Do she give any more explanation of what they do, or just that?
She says when the time
Well,
is she says when the time is right, you'll summon your friends.
Ah,
Well, congratulations, you two. You're summons now.
So the rubies the rubies are a little bit different, but they're essentially a form of draw mages instant summons. You crush the ruby, and in so crushing the ruby, then Cutler and Kaw will appear there, teleport to you.
okay.
More importantly, what was the result of that awesome survival check?
The survival check.
That's one you did, by the way.
Okay, so Januka, did you make one?
Yeah.
12. Okay, so Stephanie and Januka, what they're describing sounds to Jessa and Januka as though yes, it's definitely in color, as yes, it's definitely some sort of draconic reptilian thing. That's about all you guys get out of it. For Deontay and Randall, however, you this description is not making sense. It's not adding up. It's like, wait a second, did you really even see this? Like you're not, it's just not making sense. And
My estimations, a dragon
then,
hordes. They usually hoard alone. Why would they be existing in a village of other reptiles?
and Joe, what you come up with is, it sounds like it's two draconic or two reptiles, like two different things. Like what you're describing is from two different species. Two different things. Like one's draconic and one is more like an actual dragon. One is more reptilian. And and Deontay with that nat 20, nat 20s to me aren't super automatic successes, but they are
Completely
good.
understand.
They are good. So what Polidar gains is that, oh no, I know exactly what this is.
Dun dun dun.
One is a dragon of some sort, some sort of deep dragon perhaps, but the other is a Behir. Only Behirs leave the glass-like glazing on the walls that you described.
I'm so glad we can come to this point because that's kind of what I've been.
And you're like, the lightning seems to sear the walls until it turns to glass.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking earlier. Why is it called the City of the Glass Pool? Because I was like, oh, this is not a dragon we're dealing with here.
Well, that's the City of Glass Pools in a different direction, but but it could be related.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
I'm not going to deny that it could be related.
Insane. And all I could think to myself was, I have never once played a single campaign where a Behir is involved so actively, and I was like, would he Behir us?
So
Nonetheless, I do just share that with the team in a very distressed.
she says, what I suggest you just head to the City of the Glass Pool. And she says, and then come back later to deal with the dragons. She says, however, I'm not sure I would advise either, though I sense they both have powerful magic, and they both certainly possess great treasures. But at this moment, when she's talking, one of the younger gnomes in the city pipes up and says, but it is what is beyond them that might be really worthwhile. And then Carmen Aaron says, shh, and silences him kind of with a look, this look of thunder, like just gives him the hard glare. And she says to you, yes, I've already told you about the Rockseer elves, but again, they're more, reclusive and even more untrusting of outsiders than us.
Are they being bullied or hiding from this dragon pair?
And she says, my dear girl, beyond you coming down here, you would have never known about the Rockseer elves, and most of the world does not know about them either. They are not being bullied because they are not being found.
And my dear Carmenera, you seem to hide more secrets in a tomb in a forbidden area. Why don't you explain to us exactly what it is that we risk running for a reward?
She says, well, like I said, the dragons probably have great treasure and great magic that you could use, and once you deal with the Illithids at the City of the Glass Pool, then I'm sure that there's great magic and great treasures to be found there as well. She says, though it is a harder trek to get to the City of the Glass Pool, and she says, I kind of believe that possibly when you go that route, though, that you will find some things along the way. And hopefully that coming back, the dragons will be like, or as you say, the Behir will be more of a cakewalk.
Wonderful.
Thank you for that very enlightening bit of information.
She says, but when you at last come to the Koatoan city, you will first meet Diregund. And she kind of just hisses the name. And all the gnomes around just suddenly look like combative. Like they all like are on edge. You can tell like there's a palpable tensity, tenseness in the air, and she says, she says, Diregund is the Swerf Neblin term for Darrow. She says,
Ah, yes.
she says,
Of course.
destroy them all. Destroy them all, then come back to me and I will tell you more.
We're doing a genocide.
She looks as if she really means it. Like she wants you to kill every last Darrow that you see. She wants you to commit genocide. Yes, basically, essentially.
You're sending us to commit the extermination of another of these deep races. How intriguing.
Have you ever met him?
I mean, that is the way of the world.
Make no mistake, Carbonara, we were more than happy to extinguish those very odious trolls, but that came at a cost, as will everything else.
This old
You
helpful,
understand.
kindly gnome has the look of real hate in her eyes whenever she speaks of the Darrow.
Oof. He's not been kindly and helpful.
And
to
you
me.
also know that this gnome lady is like 300 and some years old.
Cool, I guess.
Why
Super
don't you-
nice. You look great for your age.
Why don't one of you guys make a persuasion or deception or intimidation check if you want to get some information out of her
Now,
about these
I
Darrow.
think-
now, I would say now, Jessa for sure has the highest on this, right? But thematically, I'm going to go for intimidation.
Okay.
I mean, my highest is deception, but you can.
Right.
You're probably
I-
higher than the other charisma one.
Well, if you want to use your deception,
Close
if you
to
want to
blowing
use
up
your
on this woman.
If you want to use your deception to help Fulladar's intimidation, I'll allow you to make an intimidation at advantage there, Fulladar.
Yes, I'll help you, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, it's probably not gonna pan out. But I just have to be that Foldors are getting really tired of this woman, her riddles, and her secrets.
Oh, I have intimidation too.
And per my deity, I have to uncover the truth.
Yep, that's
It's not an
what
option,
unearthing a thing is kind of your thing, right?
huh?
Unearthing knowledge is kind of your thing, right? As
That
your
is
deity's
exactly
thing.
it. And
Yeah.
this woman is obtuse intentionally,
And
and she
you,
keeps making it worse.
yeah, and just from the information she has given you, and the fact that she's 350 years old and she's this powerful priestess and all this stuff knows all this stuff, you cannot even you're just like your mind is racing with how much does this lady actually know?
But
Like
even
she
worse,
knows so much, Like,
She keeps saying that it supposedly this is it, or it's possible that there's treasure. Ma'am, you are 350 years old with the knowledge of a god and an existence underneath these tombs. You've lived for so long, and you can't tell me with certainty that there is treasure anywhere? Yes, I do not believe in your fairy tales and trickery. Stop speaking in soliloquies and answer the question.
she says, okay. I will tell you.
Alright,
I will
such
tell
a
you,
mishire.
but first I must tell you why it is so important to me that these Darrow must die. She says, this particular group of Darrow, it's not all Darrow, mind you, even though Swerf Neblin don't like Darrow much. This particular group of Darrow holds that the Darrow powers that be in their creation are the sworn enemies of Calidor and Smoothhands. And she kind of holds her, amulet and kind of shows you because that's, her deity.
Nice.
And what you've seen that deity in the burial grounds, right? And that's the temple by which that she took caution in that. And they have ever tried to destroy him and his realm by the most evil and deceitful means imaginable. Many, many legends are told about this, and gnome stories go on for ages. Why, my great-great-grandmother told me stories about this. She says,
I'm sure you have Sunday brunch with her.
she says, no, my great-great-grandmother's long past now, but still my grandmother. She says,
So all you have is stories?
she says, hang on, let's see,
Stories?
No proof or evidence that they're currently still doing this?
she says, well, here, come with me. And she takes you away from the rest of the group of gnomes that are kind of gathered around you, just being curious and whatever, and takes you guys away back toward her temple. And she says, here, I think we all need to sit. And she takes you and sits at a table in the temple that's like a little, they're like monk tables with like benches that go around them, kind of. And then she puts a glass out in front of all of you and takes a glass for herself, and she pours this purplish reddish wine type and stuff into there. And she says, I think we all need a drink of Gigandi before I impart this upon you. And she takes a drink herself, and then she pours herself another glass and takes another drink, and she's like, for my nerves.
I just open my flask and drink from it. Or my gourd, actually. I have a gourd on my flask. So I'm remember, Joe, Bolivar, notorious alcoholic.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. I like weird shit. Whatever.
Are you guys gonna drink your wine?
I'm drinking from my gourd, my alcohol. I don't trust this woman or her wine.
I refrain to, but I don't drink because I like to keep a steady mind.
She says, well, you know, she says, it's up to you. Who's gonna drink and who's not?
I'm drinking.
You're drinking?
I started drinking this morning, and here I am drinking again.
No, I mean, who's gonna drink who's gonna drink the wine?
I drink the cup. I don't care.
Okay.
Give me that.
All right. What about you, Daniel?
I will.
You
I'll
will?
drink.
Yeah, do it. Do
Okay.
it. Come on, Fuladar, try it. It's good.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
I say that before I drink it, of course. But
She says, listen,
Time for a concert.
I would like you to kill these Jero whenever possible. Never offer them succor or alliance. This is not a suicide mission. She says, this is kill them on sight. She says,
Typically, those two things are one and the same for us.
she says, I could quest you. Juniuka, did you say you were drinking or no? Did you say you were drinking the wine? Daniel?
Who?
Yeah.
Yes, you were. Okay. Okay, so, she says, I could quest you. She says, but your friends here have opted to drink the Gigandi. And so, they are considered true members of the Swerf Neblin community.
Classic.
And she says, if you would drink
Try the
the
product first.
she says if you would
and pay
she
for
said
it.
if you would drink the Gigandi, then you will be considered true members of the Swerf Neblin community as well.
Does it muddle the mind, or will my mind remain clear?
She says, but you must chew. The mind remains clear. She says it is not a trick, and she says, in fact, this is a blessed wine. She says, but I have a weapon for any of you who chooses to accept the quest. A quest must be accepted. She says, a quest must be accepted. And I will bestow upon you a weapon to help you complete the quest.
I do like weapons.
I do
do
too.
like weapons. I do like weapons.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, take a swig and become a part of the community of secret holders and tomb hiders.
Dude,
Take the quest, you'll grant me a weapon that will have the power capable of killing an entire Darrow race.
She says only a member of the First Neblin community can take the quest.
Well, it looks like I'm not taking the quest then.
bro.
As I slide the cup back over.
Join the call, get the free
You gotta
weapon.
drink the Kool-Aid to join the cult, and gotta join the cult to get the free weapon. That's what it is. Yep.
And I just like lean forward and just go, in the time that we have been here, I've only asked one thing. The truth, unfettered and unfiltered. And yet and still, even now, the initiations, the rituals, all for simple answers and requests.
He says.
This
She
is
says.
not truth-telling to me.
She says nothing is ever
This
simple.
coercion.
She says nothing is ever simple. She says, but I will tell you, as promised, regardless of whether or not you take the Gandhi or the quest. She says, in the Dragon's Cave, it is rumored, again, rumored, that it is the Dragon of Shadow.
See now, I can talk to that.
And she says, elves and gnomes, as you know, are both long-lived. And it has been down that way for as long as any of my ancestors or the Rockseers and their ancestors can remember. So it must be a very ancient and powerful dragon as well. Which means, of course, by possible...
Wish to offer a sacrifice?
By-
What are you offering? I will
She-
negotiate with the dragon for you.
She says, this means by possible treasure means actual, in truth, since dragons tend to hoard it, not possible, but definitely a vast treasure. She says,
Well, I mean,
uh, she
That's pretty
says,
convincing.
including,
And look, it's a shadow dragon, which means there's gonna be lots of shadows, bro.
she says, including magics like your friends, the kobold, like your friend's magic scrolls that he found, including magic scrolls that have been lost since before the time of troubles.
Can I do something? I'm gonna ask to do something here because I've made a decision to drink the wine. Now I am a shapeshifter.
Mm-hmm.
Question: is it possible to give myself a false mouth?
A false mouth,
Yes.
like an extra one, or
oh,
Yeah, so it looks like he's drinking the wine, but he's not.
oh,
He's putting it in a flesh pocket like Park
yeah,
Kangaroo.
yeah. I suppose that would be true. Yeah, you could do that probably. I would think you could do that.
that's kind of creepy, but yeah.
Horrifically so. But I'm going to ask to do that, and then after I've done it, I'm going to immediately down the wine
Okay,
and tuck it away in a false mouth.
okay. Need
I
the flesh
will be
pocket.
taking a sip. I won't be taking a whole lot, but I will drink.
You will drink it a little bit. Okay. All right.
Like mine, I
So,
don't care.
so
I want it down like
you and
that. Got you
Januka,
gnomish.
you and Januka, and I'll give Cutler and Caw the options when when Taylor and James are able to be here. You all are considered accepted into the gnome community. You are all placed in front of you. She places a small ring in front of each of you, appropriate to you.
Of course.
And she says, a ring of protection.
Oh,
She says, for accepting the quest.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on a necklace.
And then
Go
she
around my
says,
neck.
for you, and she looks at Grandolph and she walks over to a chest that she has. You see this chest, and she reaches into the chest and she pulls out this ornate, this beautifully gem-studded ornate rapier. It is beyond any quality that you've ever seen. You figure that it was made by a combination of dwarven and gnomish smiths,
Interesting.
and
Very cool.
and it was given as a gift to an elf. And of course, it was somehow they ended up with it over time. But and she hands you that.
I, kind of bow, thank her, and tell her how honored I am. Your gift honors me.
And that is a +3 weapon.
Okay.
So the +3 rapier,
Mm-hmm.
and against, if you're fighting Darrow with it, they always have disadvantage to attack you.
Nice. Nice.
And then she pulls out a dagger, and it is seriously wicked looking, and she almost like cringes at the touch of this dagger, and she hands it to Jessa,
Oh, look,
It's
you
always
can
a
dual wield
different-
now.
and she says this should go along nicely with whatever else you use, and the dagger is a dagger of venom, but in this case it is also +3. It's encrusted with gems, and it is also, when you're fighting Darrow with it, there will always be a disadvantage to attack you.
Nice.
Um,
Voice dagger.
she gives Jinyuka a similarly gem encrusted hammer. It is a +3 hammer, and against Darrow, they always have a disadvantage against you. And lastly, but not least, she gives Folidar a quarterstaff. The quarterstaff is made of ironwood, and the middle grip is filigreed with mithril, and the end caps are mithril and encrusted with gems. And it is a +3 weapon, and you guessed it, if Darrow are fighting you, they're at disadvantage. Yep.
He's giving me a weapon specifically. Now I do want to just like actually in character be like, you have weapons specifically designed to kill Darrow, and yet and still we're the ones doing this.
She says,
I've asked enough questions and cast enough suspicion.
she says, yes, well, the enmity runs deep between us and them. And
I'm certain.
and she says, I fear that neither side has come out more triumphant than the other, perhaps. But if I had my druthers, you mentioned my great grandmother, and she's part of the reason she has passed, or they are part of the reason she has passed. And
Well,
she said,
suppose that makes this quite personal.
she said upon her deathbed that these weapons were to go to those who would use them to finish what she had started, and that I would know them when they came along. I would know this group of adventurers when they came along. And she says, and I must admit, I have had my doubts. Don't get me wrong, but you seem the genuine article. Even you, who has this tremendous curse thrust upon you, I can only imagine the burden you must bear.
I'm no more burdened than I have been all my days.
She says, only you think so. She will say that, she says, and as promised, I happen to have it on good authority that among the dragon's treasure is a tiny book. This tiny book is of great power. She says, you will need a very powerful magnifying glass to read it, or some eyes of the eagle. She says, but from what my sources say, it is a book of exalted deeds.
I have a monocle, so
I'm pretty sure one of my tools have a magnifying glass.
Which, you know, a book of exalted deeds is, like, just from hearing, you know the name is legendary, you know, it's like, the only other thing is the Book of Vile Darkness. You know that this thing is, like, legendary or near legendary status or near artifact status even, you know, like...
it's almost certainly a book I would need to have. I'm well aware of I'm being bribed here.
She says,
See who gets the book.
she says, and she says,
going in on the bribe.
She says, I am sure there are many more magic items among the dragon's treasure. She says, but as far as I understand, the Book of Exalted Deeds far surpasses, you know, many of the other things. And she says, hang on.
Yeah. Book of Exalted Deeds. I'm one step closer.
Alright. I got my
She-
little.
She also says that, she says, the Behir, she says, on the other hand, we had our suspicions, but until you mentioned it, we did not make the connection 100% either. But until you said so, Folidar, we had our suspicions that it might have been a Behir. And she says, but I do have it also on good authority that there is a suit of elven chain and possibly a very powerful sword among its treasure.
A sword, you say?
And she says, yes, that is all I know as far as actual things, and there's very likely to be tons of other magic items as well. I'm sure it's quite vast.
Yes. That's right.
She says, now, back to the ugly truths. When you first pass the illusory wall, one of the places you will come to is a grell nest. Are you familiar with the
Right
grell?
into the fire. Character-wise, is the girl in the story deep dark only?
Underdark, you mean?
I mean, yeah.
They occasionally are on the surface, but mostly in caves and Underdark, yeah.
Then in that case, Folidar is gonna do a history check.
Alright.
Because remember, canonically, Folidar doesn't know anything about the Underdark.
Okay, you think that they're Folidar, you think that they're snake-like things that have tentacles coming off their face?
Those
and-
snaky guy.
And Jessa, you say no, those are Grick.
Right.
Grick and Grell are both aberrations, but Grell are more like floating brains with tentacles coming off them, like kind of like a jellyfish, but they're floating brains with beaks, somewhat like an octopus brain thing.
And
Very
when she
distinctive.
says that, I just say you passed my test. Excellent job for recalling the information.
Oh god.
I really need to cut you up one of these days.
and,
Sorry,
and
but that's not going to go in the exalted deeds.
so Jessa, can I speak for you for a moment?
Yes.
Okay, so Jessa says, well, Polidar, you should know from your books that much like other aberrant creatures, the anatomy of the Grell is truly bizarre. While some hold that these flying tentacled brains are horrific creatures from a parallel world or alternate plane, they actually originated from the far realm.
And of course, naturally, having been versed in all creatures and such, I was very well aware of that particular detail. And to even insinuate that I wasn't quite preposterous. The far realm, right? Yes, that's what the far realm.
What's Jessa doing at this point in time? She's just like rolling her eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, she says, there is an alternate way. And she says, I will say that the alternate way involves a little bit more perils of Underdark. But then you also don't have to go through a Grell nest. She says, which may or may not be more or less dangerous. She says that the alternate way has definitely got more purple wormholes and jagged cliffs and narrow ledgeways and such. She says, so it's hard to say what is better way to go. But she says, I can provide you with a couple more scrolls. She says, I've only been able to make 2. She says, I've been under a lot of busy work lately.
Looking at Geneva,
What's
I
the
would
who
say
you got
the
there?
nest is probably the better way. Looking at all that shiny armor.
She says,
Yeah, right.
she says, she says, potions of healing, you could talk to the apothecary about that.
Well, by the way, do rings
Oh, the
protect?
apothecary's involved in sending us on this quest?
What's that?
Do ring of protection stack in this edition?
I believe, yes, I believe 2. Yeah, but you can wear up 2. But they do require attunement, so if you're attuned to other items, then, the 2024 version doesn't give you bonuses to saves, so you'll have to remember to add your bonus to saves if you're on your 2024 sheet. So Ring of Protection give you a +1 to armor class and +1 to all your saves. But if you're using a 2024 sheet, you'll have to remember that you get +1 for your saves. And what were you asking, Joe? Sorry. You asked something about.
I asked. I said so. The apothecaries.
About the potion healing?
Apothecaries involved in sending us on this quest too.
Oh no, the apothecary is just where you buy your potions of healing, or any other unguents, salves, ointments, pigments, and so on. That you might get herbs, spices. They do have the spices.
You can technically make at least one.
Yeah, so you can make one before you take off. Let's see.
Somehow.
I take that back about the weapons being disadvantaged against the Darrow. It's the rings of protection. Sorry, no, my bad. The rings of protection are +1 to armor class, +1 to all saves, and cause disadvantage to any Darrow attacking you.
So we need both the rings and the weapons. What do, so
No,
the
you don't-
weapons
you
are
don't-
just stronger weapons.
The weapons are just +3 weapons, yeah. which is
get mad at
which is
you.
pretty strong. and they're worth a lot. They're gen trusted and they're worth a ton. And also they quest you. So if you try to avoid the quest, then there will be not good things that happen.
What is the details of this quest are what specifically then?
You have to accept the weapon. You have to accept the weapon, and you have to kill all the Darrow in that area, or at least do your best to try.
Now, I just want to, because I'm about to be a bit of a jerk with this one. Just to confirm, the quest is to kill all of the Darrow in this area, right?
In that wherever area she tells you about the Darrow caverns or whatever they are. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. You don't have to kill every Darrow ever that you ever see. Just in that one spot.
Would be interesting.
And it's mostly because of that specific. Darrow are evil anyways. They're generally looked at as evil monstrosities anyways. They're like a sort of a corruption of dwarves and Durgar and satyrs.
Yeah, I hope they're evil when we approach them. I mean, to be fair, changelings are supposedly evil too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just chaotic.
Yeah, so
In fairness, Darrow. I was saying, in fairness, Darrow could be considered an evil race, but they're really a corrupted monstrosity.
corrupted.
They're like I said, they're like some kind of corrupted by evil magic that basically makes them evil.
Like wraiths or undead.
Yeah, kind of like that. And they do like, I think if I remember right, they even emit like a shadow type, like kind of like think of like the Nazgul and the, something like that. Like, if I remember right. Oh, come on, my thing is doing this again. Why is this doing this? It is so weird that this thing is doing this. Oh,
I have quite the collection.
Now
no.
we are gonna leave these caves. This is quite literally turning into Minecraft, right? Where we went down the caves with little fairway of like terms of items and stuff. We're gonna come out here with full diamond armor, enchanted weapons.
Right.
Speak to yourself about coming down with very little items.
That's fair. That's fair. Dagger of the undead here.
I'm fairly confident that if you take out the dragon and the beer, you will probably complete whatever treasure needs you need to gold needs you need to finish the spell jamming ship.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
almost
yeah.
certainly.
I'm fairly confident.
And
of that.
we're not very far off to begin with.
No, we're not. And if a dragon doesn't cover that, that's a sad dragon.
Hopefully. Oh man, I know we probably shouldn't try it, right? I know we probably shouldn't try it, but have we floated talking the dragon down?
I mean, we don't get its treasure if we talk it out. I mean, like, dragons are intelligent creatures. We can definitely
Yeah,
make a deal with it, and they.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I
and
know,
ancient
I'm
dragon
pretty sure
creatures.
they don't like.
Let's cross that dragon when we get to it.
Well, it is a shadow dragon,
Mind flare.
Exactly.
which
Well,
makes our job a lot harder.
Well, not really. It makes our job a lot easier. The rest of them, that's not our problem. Now listen.
Shadow dragon.
So,
Shadow Dragon works really well with us.
Oh yeah.
So,
So
I say we go take out this Grell nest real quick.
So I'm going to read you the. I haven't converted it to 5e yet, but and I don't even know if it exists in 5e, but I'm not positive or anything. But the quest spell is, I think it does. But the quest spell enables the priest to require the affected creature to perform a service and return to the priest with proof that the deed was accomplished. The quest can, for example, require the creature to locate and return some important or valuable object, rescue a notable person, release some creature, capture the stronghold, slay a person, deliver some items, and so forth. If the quest is not properly followed, use disregard, delay, or perversion, the creature affected by the spell loses 1 from its saving throw rolls each day of such action. This penalty is not removed until the quest is properly pursued or the priest cancels it. There are certain circumstances that will temporarily suspend a quest and others that will discharge or cancel it. The DM gives you appropriate information as the need to know arises. So in this essence is, once you've exterminated the Darrow in that area, then the quest will be over. And you'll get to keep the weapons. However, if you wanted to be rid of the quest, you would have to have a very powerful person probably cast Remove Curse or something along those lines.
Well, I already kind of need a very powerful person that can remove the curses.
You're a powerful person.
But there's no time limit. I mean, like, if we come across them.
I can't wait to run into Seer
There-
again.
There is a if you're purposefully delaying, yeah, then there is. But if it's not that, then no. And there is no real time limit. I mean, purposefully delaying would probably be measured in a matter of, well, shoot, we need a month of downtime, like that, So a month of downtime might be like, okay, we feel like you're purposefully delaying something now,
Okay.
Look, okay, these things take time.
But going out questing in an effort to get you toward the goal, coming back and resting, that's a different story because you're still making that effort. The magic knows.
Understanding.
The magic knows. Anyway, so yeah.
He knows everything. And just to be clear, when I'm doing the attack check, it is a dexterity, right?
Yes, yep. Yeah, it's whatever you choose as your monk weapon. I think it's strength or dexterity, depending on what you choose as
How
your
do you
monk
get that
ability.
+1 to get your saving throws?
You what now?
There's no way to put that +1. You said something about there was a way to make that save +1 go in your save.
Are you using the
Global
20?
save modifier.
Are you using the 2024 sheet?
No, I'm using the same sheet I've always been using.
Well, if you're using the same sheet, it automatically puts it there.
It didn't.
I think. You sure?
I'm not seeing it there.
Okay, then you'll have to do a global save modifier. Hang on, what's in it?
Thought I did.
I'm gonna put this on the map layer so you guys know what course you pointed to on the map where the Grell Nest is roughly. And then of course you guys know where the scroll caves are because you guys are already there. Wait, that should be on the map layer too. Map. Alright.
So let's just do a test here. +1 ring protection.
Oh, and you guys also know where the Swerve Nebulon burial grounds are. Which I will say that there might be stuff in the Swerve Nebulon burial grounds back in that thing that would be useful to you. But if you do it again, you will severely piss off the gnomes, and that may not be good for you guys.
Yeah.
Knowing what you have.
Back then.
Yeah, I was just saying, knowing what you have to do and knowing how much help the gnomes have given you, and how helpful they've been, you think that pissing them off would be the wrong move, probably.
Oldard rejects the notion of helpfulness, but I still think it's foolish to diss them.
But yeah, so I marked the burial grounds on the thing too as well. All right, so that with that said, we played for a little bit. It's Easter. You guys want to get out of here early? It's a good spot to stop, I think. Yeah. Or you guys want to continue for a little bit? I don't know what you guys got when your plans start. So
I ain't got nothing until 4 o'clock.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, the sooner the better for me. I'm not gonna lie. I will not deny that that is the scenario I live in right now. But I'm always, you know me, Brian. I'm a fluid person.
You know, you know what?
I see why I'm echoing. Okay, how often was that going on? Okay.
Not too
Uh,
bad.
James, are you still watching? If you are, can you give me an update? I know it'll be like a little bit of a delay, but can you tell me if I'm done echoing now?
It sounds like
that
you're
was
good.
that was an echo through Joe's, but that was different.
I guess we gotta decide which route.
I think we should start with the growl. Take him out. I got this nice spear I've been dying to use, and
I will
growl
say,
sound like a good
I
place
will
to use
say
it.
that you know that there's purple worms in the western split cavern when you go toward the Grell. There are more dangers down that area, but there are purple worms which are freaking dangerous all on their own. So after you fight the Grell, you could circle back and fight the purple worms, or after you fight the Grell, you could fight the purple worms at a different day, or you could just avoid the purple worms altogether, because that could
Yeah.
be a good thing to avoid too. So
Yeah,
I'm
something to
not
keep
ready
in
for a
mind.
reward.
yeah. I don't. I'm good on the purple.
The only thing I would say for Jessa, not well, actually for Tessa more so than Jessa, outside of game metagamey type of information. Tessa, I don't know. I know Jessa is aware of Tessa, right?
Yes.
Right. And
They're
Tessa,
like
and,
kinda
Te-
backseat
and Tessa is
drivers.
aware of Jessa. So, but subconsciously, Tessa would probably think, getting my hands on some purple worm poison wouldn't be a bad thing. Especially with
It
this
was.
dagger of venom.
No, it
Oh.
wouldn't. But
Because
that
purple
is
worm poison
high.
is vicious and does a ton of damage.
Now there is this thing, right? Just to sweeten the pot on this, right? But this is the one instance in which Folodar might actually go along with something as crazy as trying to get purple worm poison, primarily because he is hopeful that it will accelerate the effects of the copper dragon egg that he has.
Oh yeah.
Here's the other thing: if you get the purple worm, if you can kill one purple worm without alerting others, which might be a chore unto itself, but if you could do that, there's a real possibility of you getting out of there unscathed, or not unscathed, but like
I mean,
relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I think we can handle one. I just don't know if we can do
Right.
one without the others.
Yeah, if you wake the sleeping giant, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah, I don't think
Especially
we can handle
since
one. I'm
the
being honest.
last time we had purple worms, they screamed and called their family or something, and yeah, we
Did
saw
one
it.
ever die? Did a single one of them die?
No,
A lot of noise
none of
over
them
there.
died. I don't think, if I remember right. Here, I'm going to just
Bomb the
switch
worm
back
is
to that
some
map real quick just to
crazy
make sure.
suggestion.
I got to look because I don't think any of them actually died. Oh, that's not the troll.
Yeah, I
worms.
think all of them lived, which
Yeah,
reinforces
I think
the
the one was getting semi-close, but
It
then it called
screeched.
reinforcements,
For all we
and
know.
then yeah.
He might have just been saying, "Hey guys, there's plenty enough for all of us."
Weird.
It showed up thinking there was
There we
only
go.
enough trolls for like it, and then saw that there was an entire extra tunnel of trolls, and they were just like, "Hey, I can call my friends up."
Roll 20 is being
I'm gonna
slow.
call my cousin Louie. He'd like it here.
Okay, yeah,
And
that
that's what happened.
So yeah, I think going to that nest
Yeah, the nest seems like the optimal choice
best
here.
option.
It's a
At
good
least
start.
to start with.
And it gives us a chance to test out our new abilities.
Yes, exactly.
Having all kinds of roll 20 fun. Okay, let me just check something here real quick because I think, of course,
Ladies and gentlemen, he's checking something.
and it's not. It's being wonky anyways.
Check, check, 1, 2.
Refresh. Roll20 said, "No, I'm not showing you your maps anymore ever again."
That sounds like Roll20.
No, no.
It does. It gets buggy once in a while, yeah.
There we go. Okay, so yeah. At any rate, I was just trying to go look at the Troll Caves map, and
That's okay.
of course, it does not look like any of the purple worms died.
I don't think they did.
No.
I would be really surprised.
Well, one of them got slightly injured, but I don't
Yeah,
think
one of
that-
them got quite injured and was almost dead. But then when the buddies came in,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, we ran.
it was all
Not like we really turned our full attention
all
on
over
them,
but
guys.
the crying.
So Brian, you're gonna have to take and add +1 to my armor class because I equipped the ring and it didn't add it to my armor class.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. It's probably from all the adjustments we did before when it was screwing up. So
Yep, could be.
Magical
All right,
things are happening.
I'm pretty sure. Let me go back to the Orc Caverns.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice alien terrain. Yeah. None of it's done, but it's all close.
I mean, it gives the illusion of being done, and in my mind, that's just as good.
I could put it on the board now and my players would be happy, but I could have put it on the board unpainted and my players would be happy. So.
I can picture like Cutler going back to the orcs, the Blood Skull orcs, and telling them of you guys' events and stuff and your exploits, and then them being like, "Oh, those trolls grew such good mushrooms, though."
I can also see him going back to the orcs and just rallying them and being like, "Who wants to kill a bunch of Darrow?"
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Shoot.
Hey, that'd be one way for him to come. Oh, he's not in the quest though, right?
Not yet.
Apparently.
Not yet.
no,
That would be a hell of a way for him to finish that quest. Just go fucking send the orcs on him while we go do something more important.
It works. It works.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do a BRB because I need to restart some things apparently.
Okay. We'll step away for a moment.
I will also do a BR.
kind of hard to see.
Right.
The only reason I
Mine are
can't wear
dirty,
mine
too.
is because they kind of do this weird thing when I look at screens.
Yeah, you will notice I take them off when I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah, it's like a weirdly. It's not entirely disorienting, but it's weird.
It's good. Yeah, it's good enough.
I wonder if I got an update running. Hold on, let me look and see. I probably need a Windows update or something.
Mm.
You know, I used to check those diligently.
I don't know. I've got something going on with the PC that it
Oops.
doesn't like wanna it doesn't wanna make
Participate?
yeah, it doesn't want to make Roll20 work right. Like or the not Roll20, just the whole browser. What you call it? Google Chrome is what I'm using right now.
Yeah,
About to switch to Firefox again. Chrome, I switched to Chrome way back when because Chrome was like way faster than anything else, and then over time Chrome has just been slower and slower and slower, and Firefox is fast again. Like Firefox was fastest. Then I switched to Chrome, it was faster, and then now Firefox is faster again. Whatever. There you go. Now I can see out of my glasses, kinda. Not really though. I got bifocals though, so I'm good. I just do this the whole time. I'm an old man. I have bifocals. It's okay. I understand.
Oh.
They're
aren't we
not
all
true.
just
They're not
old
true
men
bifocals
here?
though. They're subtle, sneaky bifocals, progressive lenses.
You know,
Oh,
I don't use them at work.
I'm low key old.
no, you're not. Nice try, though. Nice.
At least that's what I tell myself so I can sleep at night.
He even slipped in low key.
So anyway, the Grell Nest,
Yeah.
there are no real perils on the way to the Grell Nest. No
Perfect. That's exactly what we
fungal
wanna hear.
caverns. No, like not dangerous fungal caverns. Anyways, when you get there, there is a bioluminescent lichen that is kind of growing around there.
Okay.
And yeah, so if you got a little bit of time, this would probably be a good time to not be here because I need to update the map apparently. Yeah, so yeah, unprepared by the DM. Anyway, so yeah, so you guys get to the Grell Nest. This is going to be over here. Let me put you guys all on the map. You guys will just get to see all the whole map for a minute.
Ooh, it's glowy.
Yeah.
Special.
I was ready to make a comment that isn't just the place where Frisk falls in from Undertale, but an Undertale reference is definitely not something that goes.
Did you hear they're
through
doing another?
our fan base.
They're doing another sequel. My son's really stoked about it. I told him when he.
What, Undertale?
Yeah. Deltarune is the sequel to
So
Undertale.
Deltarune is the sequel technically,
But there's going to be.
we don't know why
be a
yet.
third
We don't know
one.
how it's a sequel yet. Yeah, so Deltarune is like it's episodic, and there are already 3.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, I don't know if Deltarune.
I think the third one is either there are already 3 or the third one's already being confirmed. I think that's what it is.
It's been confirmed. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
out already or not, but it should be out pretty quick here. I think because I think it's right close to it.
3 and 4 both come out this year,
Oh.
and apparently they come out with the Switch too.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting it for him on. I don't know if it's it might be pre-order now too, so I didn't think about that.
You should probably look into that.
Grandolith, Fulidar, Caw. If I thought it wouldn't embarrass him, I would share how he got asked to prom. Oh wait, we don't want Caw because Caw's gonna be back at the thing. Cutler's gonna be back at the thing. Well, Cutler might be with you guys, so no, he was gonna stay back at the thing possibly.
Yes.
So where's
You can go
Januka?
there and talk.
Januka. Oh, there she is. I don't know which one. It's this one. I was gonna say I don't know which one's the 2024 one. There we go. Wait, she's not giant right now.
Nope.
So yeah, so there you guys are. You come to some caverns. Jessa makes sure to warn everybody that the Grells have a danger about them, that their tentacles tend to inflict paralysis.
Oldar, be careful.
And
I hear too. So does their musical performances. Am I right?
The Grell basically are meat eaters. You know, they're carnivores. They go out and they come back with gnomes, troglodytes, eels, lizards, whatever they can find to eat, whatever they can get their tentacles on. And yeah, so
Yeah,
that.
girls are a fucking menace.
Yeah, and
Don't worry, they'll be easy. After all, they're all brain, no brawn.
Right.
Yes, but the brain can be mightier than the sword.
Let me tell you something. As a man who's addled my brain with years and years of alcohol, it's only as mighty as a person wills it to be.
And as one who does not partake in the drink,
so I got this map.
my mind
If you guys look, I
can
feel
be
like
stronger.
I gotta share this here. So Patreon, Old School Remastered. That's where I got this map from, and it is from the, you know, it's basically a recreation of the Night Below Grell nest maps, map 13, and so yeah, so I just wanted to post that, even though like they're not paying me to do that or anything, but I just thought that was a. I always like to promote other people, like small guys, because you know we're small guys, and people need to promote small dudes more and small people as far as like you know, small businesses, local businesses, and stuff like that. I think that people.
Oh yeah.
Because really the biggest businesses that don't really need the extra promotion are the ones that get it, and the ones that are smaller and in more need of that kind of promotion are the ones that get less. So.
Sir, I think you're stalling.
I am. I'm stalling definitely. No. Yeah, you got to wait for me to put this dynamic lighting on here on this map. So. Yeah.
He was in fact stalling.
So with that being said, we might want to. Do you guys? It is 2:30, and it is probably also a good time to, like I said, stop. Or do you guys want to wait for me to put the dynamic lighting on here, which could take a while? So.
This looks like a good place to stop.
I was thinking that this would be a good place to stop, and so you guys
You've asked too
get to the
twice. I
Grell
think
nest.
we're
Let me
gonna.
see if I can come up with anything that there is. There anything? Okay, up ahead at this like here. Let me move you guys all back. Okay, well it won't let me move you guys all back. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why.
I did that yesterday. Was on the wrong layer.
Grell.
It scared the crap out of me. I didn't know what was happening. I was afraid to say anything because I didn't know what was happening. No, I'm just kidding. But I was on the wrong layer once yesterday. It annoyed me. I understand. There, can I quit stalling for you now?
So up here, yeah, up here between these, you can see 3 caverns splitting off. Like some of you can anyway.
Yeah.
Januka might not be able to, but like everybody else has dark vision. Did Januka have dark vision now? She does, right?
No.
Yes. Oh, I thought she had something that was okay. Well, at any rate,
To just have my lantern.
right? Okay. So at any rate, you see a Grell up there, kind of moving back and forth, like up and around here, kind of floating back and forth.
You can watch him for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll have everyone hold up, Kenny.
Yeah.
See what he's
Oh
doing.
wow.
He just kind of moves around
That's
there.
like-
He's just, taking
Is he on guard duty, man?
He is some sort of forward grell guard type of thing. Yeah, yeah. So
Pretty organized, man. They got guards. Maybe we should.
Well, I guess you could say they have the brains for the operation. I'm quite inebriated.
bring me more Gandhi.
You know, that was yesterday. I mean, it took a whole day to get here.
I am an alcoholic.
This has been stated many times.
There's never a day where Full Art doesn't drink.
Dang it.
There's just days where he's cognitive beyond it.
Here, let me turn on the dynamic lighting for this here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, so
Rad-
the map is already dark enough, so I'm going to put on daylight mode and make it really dim.
Dim us up.
And then some
Oh,
of you,
yeah.
some of you won't be able to see
Yeah.
anything, and some of you will be able to see whatever. Jinyuka, you have a light on you or no? Light source?
Yes.
So can you see then on the map?
I can, yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Alright. So yeah, that's what you see basically. And then we will stop here while I get the dynamic lighting, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And hopefully James or Taylor can join us at that point in time.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah, or both. Yep.
Both is good.
James and or Taylor.
James Indoor Taylor.
Or James Taylor, because that'd be kind of cool too.
James
But I think he's dead
Taylor,
now.
Thames Indoor Jailer.
Taylor.
So thanks for joining us here on Action Surge, where imagination collides with the roll of dice. We've battled fearsome foes, which, not yet really, but not this time, not this session. I guess battling the fearsome foe of fear or thirst. That's or hunger.
Or
No.
passive annoyance in Folder's case.
As this session draws to a close, remember the journey never truly ends. Keep rolling those dice and weaving those tales. Farewell, adventurers, and don't forget to check out Action Surge 5e on all the platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever we can find, and so on and so forth. Give us a like and subscribe and follow and share and all that good stuff. And until next time, may all your actions surge. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye, future people. We're going to try to stay and raid somebody, too, if I can find somebody.
Paint. Raid somebody, though. That's a good idea. Do it.
The realm where tales unfold. The podcast of heroes, a quest divine, where imagination takes flight. Let's combine. Roll the
Alright,
dice,
so
let
stick
the
around
story
for the raid coming after these
Monsters and magic, the battles
That is
within.
important
From
thing.
dragons to dungeons, a thrilling ride. Action Surge podcast where legends collide. Action Surge, it's time to
Oh, you know what? We're going to raid Mendari, a good friend of mine. No, good acquaintance of mine. I would like her to be a good friend, but I don't know her that well. I only talk to her a few times. And I call her Jen and stuff. But she's pretty awesome. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I've got pictures of me with her at Gen Con, so. That's like a friend, right? That's actually Perry's character, one of the male characters. I believe we have a. I don't know what that reference is. Alright, start the raid. And we got 6 viewers, 10 viewers to go to the raid. Alright, and we're gonna raid Raid now. Okay, 5 viewers. Okay, there we go. We're gonna raid Mindari. Hey,